Imagine a boy of 14, huddled in a war-torn city, watching his world unravel under Nazi jackboots. Now imagine that same boy, airlifted to a distant empire, remade in its image, not as a refugee but as a weapon. A philosopher of markets, a disruptor of nations, a billionaire with a knack for being everywhere chaos unfolds. His name, George Soros. But was he born or built? Welcome to the Stateless Standard, where we chase the threads of power back to their hidden looms. Today we ask a question that's equal parts history lesson and parlor riddle. Did the British Empire in its twilight quietly invent George Soros? Let's turn back the clock and follow the breadcrumbs. It begins in Budapest, 1930. György Schwartz, later George Soros, is born into a well-off Jewish family of intellectuals and entrepreneurs. His father, Tivadar, is a polymath, lawyer, Esperanto enthusiast, and survivor of Siberian gulags from the Great War. Tivadar's mantra, adapt or perish. By 1944, Hungary's under the thumb of Hitler's arrow-cross fascists. Jews rounded up, deported, exterminated. The Soroses go underground. Tivadar buys forged papers, poses as a Hungarian official, even shelters other Jews by claiming them as godchildren. Young George at 14 tags along on inspections of confiscated Jewish properties, escorting officials, no doubt a child's nightmare etched into his psyche. He later called it the happiest year of my life, not from joy but from the thrill of outwitting death. Survival through deception, a lesson that sticks. But the war ends. The Soviets roll in, and with them Stalin's iron fist. Tivadar sees the writing on the wall. Another empire, another purge. In 1947, he cables a friend in London. Get us out. Curious, isn't it? One empire's fall births a ticket to another's salon. London, 1947. A city in rags but buzzing with ideas. George arrives on a scholarship to the London School of Economics, LSE, the cradle of Fabian socialism, the forge of imperial minds. He's penniless, working as a railway porter and waiter to eat. But ideas, those are free. Enter Karl Popper, the LSE's rock star philosopher. His 1945 magnum opus, The Open Society and Its Enemies, is a wartime thunderclap. Totalitarianism is the foe of human freedom. Science and markets thrive in pluralistic chaos. Plato, Hegel, Marx, they're all historicist poison, Popper argues, chaining us to inevitable tyrannies. The antidote? An open society of trial, error, and endless critique. Soros devours it. He even writes a term paper for Popper, pondering the philosophy of investment. Markets as open societies in miniature, where prices signal truths and bubbles burst falsehoods. Popper, mildly intrigued, but not enough for a grade. Yet the seed's planted. Soros graduates in 1951 with a philosophy degree, but the world's no seminar room. He drifts, a traveling salesman in hats, a bar mitzvah in Zurich where he trades currencies on the side. Small wins, but he's restless. London's given him a worldview, reflexivity he'll later call it, how perceptions shape reality in stocks or states. One can't help but wonder, was LSE just a school or a subtle shaping ground? The British, after all, have long excelled at exporting their thinkers like missionaries. 1956. Soros crosses the Atlantic again, this time to New York. The city's a magnet for dreamers and schemers. He lands a job at FM Mayer, a boutique arbitrage firm, spotting tiny price gaps in stocks. It's tedious, but it teaches him the market's pulse. Not rational machines, but human follies amplified. By 1959, he's at Wertheim & Co., trading European securities. Then in 1963, the big leap, Arnold and S. Bleichroeder, the American arm of a legendary German Jewish bank. Here, Soros hones his edge, European currencies, post-war volatility. He shorts the British pound in small trades, sniffing weakness in sterling. But here's where curiosity sharpens to suspicion. Soros isn't just learning markets, he's learning power. His boss, Henry H. Arnhold, tied to old banking webs. And Soros himself? He starts lecturing at universities, preaching reflexivity, markets as feedback loops where big players' bets become self-fulfilling prophecies. It's Popper refined. Open societies, but with a twist. If perceptions rule, then who controls the perceptions controls the world. A curious tool for a refugee-turned-trader, no? 1969. Soros hangs his shingle, Soros Fund Management. Modest start, but by 1973 it's the Quantum Fund, named, perhaps cheekily, for quantum physics uncertainty. Assets grow, 12 million to billions. He's a hedge fund pioneer, betting against the herd. The 1980s are his proving ground. Latin American debt crises, where he profits from chaos he publicly decries. But 1992? That's the symphony's crescendo, Black Wednesday. The Bank of England's pegging the pound to the Deutschmark in the ERM, a post-war dream of European unity. Soros smells blood, Britain's economy's wheezing, reserves thin. He borrows billions in sterling, converts to marks, waits for devaluation. September 16. The assault. Quantum sells short $10 billion in pounds. The bank hikes rates to 15% desperate. By evening, they surrender. Soros cashes $1 billion in a day, breaking the Bank of England. Headlines hail him, the man who broke Britain. But pause here. Who taught him to break Britain? The LSE's economists, steeped in imperial finance? Popper's warnings against closed systems, ironically turned on the empire's corpse? It's almost poetic. The boy saved by British ingenuity breaks the empire that saved him. Or did he merely graduate from its school? Profits fund philosophy. 1979, the Open Society Foundation's launch, seeded with $250,000. By the 1990s, it's a $25 billion behemoth, Soros's shadow government for good. First test, Eastern Europe's thaw. In 1984, he funds dissidents in Hungary, his homeland, printing samizdat, smuggling photocopiers. By 1989, it's scholarships for blacklisted academics, media startups in Poland, civic groups in Czechoslovakia. The Berlin Wall crumbles. Velvet Revolution. Soros's money oils the wheels, $1 million to Charter 77 alone. He meets Václav Havel, toasts the new era. Then the 2000s, the color revolutions. Georgia's Rose, 2003. Ukraine's Orange, 2004. Kyrgyzstan's Tulip, 2005. OSF pours in, training activists via networks like the National Endowment for Democracy's Cousins, funding NGOs that monitor elections, and sometimes spark them. Critics cry, puppeteer. Soros shrugs, promoter of openness. But consider, these uprisings topple Soviet holdovers, install pro-Western regimes, echoes of British Cold War plays from MI6 ops to BBC broadcasts. Curious alignment. Is Soros a lone wolf or the empire's last freelance knight? Now the whispers, the ones that make historians lean in. Did Britain invent Soros? Not in a lab, but in a longer game. Tivodar's 1947 escape? Facilitated by British humanitarian channels, whispers say, with intelligence nods. LSE, a known MI6 recruiting ground, think Kim Philby's alma mater. Popper himself, exiled Austrian, but his ideas dovetailed perfectly with British anti-totalitarian psyops. A 1994 Spectator piece floats it. Soros as a made man of British intelligence. His currency raids a controlled demolition of Sterling's ERM folly. No smoking gun, just patterns. His patrons at Bleichroeder, tied to Anglo-American finance. Quantum fund investors, overlapping with Rothschild circles. And the foundations? They've bankrolled Atlanticist causes from Brexit skeptics to EU integration, ever the balancer. Coincidence or curriculum? We may never know. But in a world of spycraft, the curious mind asks, what if the man who broke Britain was always working for its ghost? So did the British invent George Soros? Perhaps not in blueprint, but in blueprint. A mind shaped by exile, LSE rigor, and Popper's fire. Tools of an empire that conquered not with ships alone, but with ideas. From Budapest boy to Black Wednesday breaker to color revolution catalyst, his life's a curious tapestry. A caution, perhaps, even open societies have closed rooms. What threads intrigue you most? Drop them below. The Stateless Standard torches the questions, not the answers. Subscribe, and let's keep unraveling, like if this sparked your own riddle. Next, another empire's echo. Until then, stay curious. This is the Stateless Standard, signing off.